Namaskaram.
My question is actually a dilemma that we face in the service, Sadhguru. And it goes like this. Democracy in our country is still evolving. While in a few states it is mature, and in many other regions it is still immature and dominated by feudal values, where it works better for people with power and reach and does not work for the poor and underprivileged. There is always a gap between many of our laws, policies, and programs and the aspirations of the people. There is definitely a huge gap between the stated law, policies, and their implementation on the ground. There are many agonizing situations when we want to help someone, but rules don't permit. Any deviation from the law, rules, and procedures invites trouble for the officers and even their families. This fear prevents us from being proactively committed to the ideals. Should we work to strictly uphold the law, rules, and regulations? In Hindi, it is called, lakir ka fakir. That is a person who rigidly walks the straight line. Or do we act on humanitarian considerations, taking the risks along? My question is, Sadhguru, what is more important, upholding the law at any cost or acting on humanitarian considerations? How do we deal with such situations?
Bala, you packed two questions in one. One aspect is about the maturity of our democracy, where still it is a feudalistic process in the garb of democracy. That's still there. That is still a reality that you cannot deny. That is one aspect of life. That means when there are feudalistic processes in the rural part of India at least, and almost everywhere I would say, in at different at different temperatures, but feudalism is burning in the heart of this country. Because in people's minds and hearts, still their commitment to their caste, creed, their family and their larger clan is still bigger than their commitment to the nation itself. So in a way, in the making of this nation, we… see, in 1947 when we got the freedom, at least a large percentage of this country's population was willing to throw their life on the street for the sake of the nation. There was that kind of emotion and fervor. That was the time we should have burned the idea of nation into people's minds and hearts. In a way, we did not do that. So people naturally identified with little things around them which helps them in their survival process. So in the rural scape of India, if you're not identified with, let's say, a dominant caste in the area, well, your well-being is going to be a big question mark. So naturally, I would like to be part of that caste system because that is where my well-being is, that is where my social security is. This is very important. People are always wanting to fight this feudalism for which the basic infrastructure is caste system. People are always wanting to fight caste system. Now you can fight it as much as you want, it will not go unless we create a universal social security system. Right now, if you are living in a village, maybe in urban centers this is gone largely, but if you're living in a village, if you do not belong to any caste, then where is your social security? When tomorrow something goes wrong, who is going to support you, who is going to take care of you? Or if you fall dead tomorrow, who is going to take care of your wife and children? All these issues are there. So, without a universal social security system, caste system will not go because that is the only social security which is reasonably functionable in a functional condition for whole lot of population. So instead of fighting that, we need to bring a social security system where if I fall sick, some institution is going to take care of me. If I fall dead, somebody is going to take care of my family. Something is there, some system. Only then you can dilute the caste system, otherwise people are standing by it because that's the only social security that they have. Having said that feudalism is one aspect, that is not going to go away tomorrow morning because this is thousands of years of system. Unless you bring a better system, the old system won't dissolve by itself. And another problem is, if you dissolve any old system totally, without bringing a strong, new, efficient system, then the chaos that it creates also will create, say, social unrest and variety of problems. So the second problem is, what you're saying is different. There are many laws which may not be relevant, but still existing, because again, I have to go back to 1947, when we just took the laws that the British has made to administer this nation, or to be successful in their conquest, they made certain laws. The same laws, we just took it on, maybe we were just lazy. We didn't want to sit down and write a whole new law book, so we just took everything as it is. Many things, I must tell you. I was, as a part of our… we have like a program called Inner Freedom for the Imprisoned in all the prisons in southern India and also in Tamil Nadu and in some prisons in United States. We've been doing this. And when I went there one time, 10 days I'm literally in the prison the whole day. They wouldn't let me stay there in the night, so I had to go in the morning, leave in the evening. So there was one guy who was the butt of all jokes out there. Then I asked, why are you guys tormenting this guy like this? And you know what they say, Sadhguru, we did something, okay, we killed somebody, we did this or that, and we are here. You know what this guy did? He tried to commit suicide and he failed, and he's here for 7 years. So, if you attempt to commit suicide, there was a law, just recently, I think a year ago it was repealed. Otherwise, there was a law, you attempted to commit suicide, but you failed. If you succeed, of course, no punishment. If you fail, 7 years imprisonment you could get. If this punishment is for inefficiency, I would agree with that. But a man or a woman commits suicide or attempts to commit suicide because they are driven to such desperation in their life, whatever drove them to such a level of desperation. When a human being is driven to a place where he or she wants to take their life, what is needed is enormous compassion and support, not punishment. But unfortunately, what we had is punishment because it comes from another era. So like this, there are many. I think one of the promises the Prime Minister made in 2014 is that the first thing I'm going to do is take away many archaic laws. I hear that about 1,700 laws have been repealed or they're in the process of being repealed. And I would say it should happen with much more vigor. It should happen with much more vigor because our system, administrative system, you guys are on the other side, I don't know how… you are only complaining about it if you feel that way. From our end, it is an obstacle course daily. To get one thing done is such an obstacle course. I'm telling you, something so simple. Some urgent travel we have, we need some VIP coming or we have to fly, we need a helicopter to land. You know how many departments no objection certificate you have to get for a helicopter to land? And it happens to be a Saturday, the collector is not available, you have to run to his house, he's not there, then you run around, he's in a theater with his family, you want to go and tap him on his shoulder and say, sign my paper, my helicopter has to land. What are we doing? The idea of a helicopter is the damn thing can land where you want. That is the idea. For this, so many departments have to give no objection certificate. So all these kinds of archaic laws are there, many. If you are feeling the heat of it, you can imagine how we are feeling about it. It's really hard to get anything done. So this is why, once we have laws like these which are ambiguous and can be interpreted by anybody anyway, too much control, essentially we are not treating ordinary citizens as citizens, we are looking at them as possible criminals, and we have to monitor them always. Why can't we instill this sense of nation and pride that this is my country, the laws of this nation I will follow? If you make it very simple, a whole lot of people will do it. I believe at least 70% of the country's population, without deviating from anything, they will follow. Another 20% will do minor deviations. There is only 5 to 10% who are serious deviators. Those people you have to fix them, that's a different matter, okay? But the laws are made in such a way, because they were made by the British, they were looking at every Indian as a thief. I want you to understand, the oath of honor that Indian Army has been taking and still taking, I think I rewrote a new honor code for them, but I don't know if it's been adopted or not. You know what kind of it, I don't remember verbatim, but what it is saying is every soldier, before he is given his, whatever commission, it's not really a commission, officers get commission, what do soldiers get? Before they're inducted into the army, the code of honor they're taking is, I will not do any thievery, I will not lie, I will I'm saying, this is like all Indians were thieves. This is the attitude. For this, the first thing that they're saying, I will not do any thievery, I will respect the officer, I will do this, I'll do… How do you build an army like this? This is an army of slaves. You need to build a sense of pride and patriotism in the heart of a soldier, not a shame that I won't I won't rob anything, I won't steal anything, I won't deceive you, I won't lie to you. This is what the code of honor is. I rewrote the whole thing and gave it, I'm not sure whether they've adopted or not. So I'm saying this attitude has bred laws. Those laws are not for the people. Those laws are for the administrators to keep good control over the people. As you know, Balamurugan, you have served in Tamil Nadu and many other states also have this. Even today, the district administrator is called a collector. What a shame it is. In the British era, the only thing that guy did was collect killing taxes from people. He did nothing else. That was his only job, collect money and send it to England. So even today, we have the same nomenclature. So how will things change? Definitely these things have to change. Laws are… many laws are irrelevant and obstructive for proper administration. But at the same time, having said this, as an administrator, as a civil officer, definitely no government or no system wants to give you the position of being a dispenser of justice. You're supposed to just go by the law. Your humanity is fine, but within the framework of law only you can exert your humanity. You cannot go beyond that because you are not an executive. So if the Prime Minister or the head of the government of a state or whatever, if he feels the law is restrictive and his humanity overwhelms that law, then he can make a new law and do that. But you and me have to exert our humanity within the framework of law, because if we weaken that, then we won't have a structure. Everybody's humanity will function in its own way, everybody's morality will function in its own way, and then you won't have a structure. Then this spine will have, disc prolapses will happen.
Thank you very much, Sadhguruji, and thank you for instilling in us that the entire administration must run on the element of trust. In fact, as you mentioned yourself, the new committees that have been set up by the Prime Minister, we've now accepted self-certification in most of the documents, so that itself has been a major change. We are moving in that direction, and as Sadhguruji has pointed out, we must make efforts to get into that direction even faster.